Welcome everyone, Michael here once again, and once again we're going to play, before we get started on our topic of the day, a little game of Where is Michael? So, as per usual, if you want to put in the comments below where you think that I am, then in the next video I will describe where I actually am, and we'll see how many of you are right based on kind of being able to look around and recognize the terrain. So I will quickly give a little roundabout sort of thing, so you can see. I mean, this is a fairly prominent landmark, so probably fairly recognizable for people who know it. For those who do not, well, you will learn. Anyway, welcome to the channel. We are going to talk today about what is maybe one of the most viable ways, anyway, of having residency within the Schengen Zone, which gives you obviously access to travel around really easily, ability in practice to spend an unlimited amount of time in the Schengen Zone, and yet not trigger tax in the Schengen Zone. Now, I'll talk about kind of some of the specifics around that, but this will be a little bit of a hint as to where I am not, because we are not in the country that we're talking about today. And so we will dive in. Before we do, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the all notification bell. If you would like assistance with relocating abroad, we help people go all over the world. We help people from all around the world to figure out what is the best international solution to them for both living and doing business, as well as implementing that solution, getting residencies, citizenships, applying for second passports, getting international structures set up, so forming companies, opening bank accounts, etc. We can help you with all of that. And so you can feel free to reach out to us, calendly.com/Michael-Rosmer. There's a link in the description below if you want to book a call with me. Otherwise, you can send a message through our website, offshorecitizen.net. So, what is this country that has such an interesting, and it's kind of unspoken about, opportunity to be resident there, and yet at the same time not to trigger tax? Or, yeah, well, we'll say not to trigger tax. So, this country is Hungary. So there's a residency program in Hungary that not many people talk about, but it's appealing because of the fact that you can maintain it or renew it without really any minimum stay requirement. And this program involves forming a company and buying 2 properties. Technically speaking, there are some flexibilities where it's not hard and fast that there needs to be 2 properties, etc. There is some variation depending on where you're from, etc. But to be safe, you can form a company in Hungary, you can purchase 2 properties, therefore the nature of the business can be that. And on this basis, you can get a residency permit. Now, the interesting thing here, of course, is that Hungary is not just an EU country, but a Schengen country. And therefore, that residency permit gives you access to the Schengen Zone. And as we know, it is difficult to tell where people are in the Schengen Zone. And so, much like with Portugal with the golden visa, much like with Greece with their golden visa, there's an opportunity to have pretty much unrestricted access to the Schengen Zone. Now, in the case of a lot of programs, because obviously you can get residency in, really any particular country around the Schengen Zone. In theory, obviously you'd have to qualify, and there's different qualification criteria. You would have to have a minimum stay requirement. So, for example, I've mentioned previously that there's a method of investing in real estate in Slovenia, and you can get residency in Slovenia as a result. Slovenia is a Schengen country, etc. What's the problem? Well, you'd have to have a minimum stay of basically 6 months. And as soon as you do that, now you're going to be tax resident in that country. So most of these, in order to renew, you need to spend a minimum of 6 months a year. By being 6 months a year, you're going to be tax resident, and therefore you're going to have to pay taxes there. Obviously, with the Portuguese golden visa, that's not the case, and that's fairly popular, but it's also gotten more expensive, right? So realistically, 280,000 minimum, 500,000 in a lot of cases. That's fairly high. You can obviously do Greece at 250,000, which is not a bad option, except for the fact that Greece is bureaucratic and annoying, and hence maybe not always the place that you would want to purchase real estate. You could be fine. It's not, not horrific. But for example, maybe you could buy small apartments in Hungary that are relatively inexpensive, and you could earn reasonable rental yield off them, potentially have some good upside depending on where you buy, etc. And there's that. Now, some people will ask, can you get citizenship from this? You can, but then you do have to put in minimum amount of time. It's a long process, 8 years. Typically to qualify, and there's a Hungarian language test, and Hungarian is one of the hardest languages going, apparently. I can't speak it, so I don't know if that's an indicator of anything or not, but yeah, it's apparently quite difficult. It's quite different from the surrounding languages, so it's not like, if you're talking about Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese have a modicum of crossover, so if you know one, then it might help you with another one. Similarly, there can be other languages that something that you have might be similar. Hungarian is quite different. It's not one of the Slavic languages. It's not a Romantic language. It's not a Germanic language. At least they might call it Germanic. I don't know what the technical roots are, but it's quite different from German. So anyway, I know some people who have successfully lived there, learned Hungarian, gotten Hungarian citizenship, etc. So this is a possibility in theory, but it would mean hanging out there. Now, Hungary actually does have a fairly reasonable tax policy, and Budapest is beautiful. Some people dislike kind of some of the things about the culture. Some people like it. Certainly, there's a good food scene there, so that's appealing. A number of Michelin 1-star, I think 1 2-star rated restaurant. I find quite a plurality of food because you've got kind of this mix of influences from all different regions around that area, mainly because of the Austro-Hungarian Empire and kind of how you had a combination of French, you had German, Austrian, right? As well as, of course, influences from Turkey when the Turks took over part of the country. And then on top of that, obviously the influences Slavic from Russia. So you kind of get this maelstrom, which is pretty nice. Anyway, so that would be the option. If you are interested in that, if you're interested in help to get the residency, or if you're interested in purchasing property there as part of that process, or if you're interested in somewhere else aside from Hungary, please reach out to us, and happy to help you with that process. And we will see what is the best solution for you. Where is the best place for you to be resident? Maybe you want to actually live there. Maybe you just want to get a residency permit to get freedom. Maybe you're just looking for investment opportunities. Let us know, and we will see you on the next video.